Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Living Large Las Vegas. My name is Kobe Sherlock, and today, back in the lab, Mr. Derek Parent. Derek, say hello to everybody.
Hello, hello.
Guys, today we are bringing a really cool guest, somebody that's a good friend, somebody that has been big in our lives in a big way. But I want to introduce Mr. Nick Dossa, who is the owner of Vegas Auto Gallery. Nick, say hello to everybody.
How's it going, everyone? Pleasure to be here.
Man, Nick, so for our listeners listening in, can you tell them a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your background?
Where do I start, man? There's a lot. You want me how far back you want me to go?
Where are you from?
Born and raised in Canada, Calgary, Alberta. They call
right.
it the Wild Wild West. Nice and cold out there. And moved to Vegas about 5 years ago.
Literally went from the Wild Wild West of Canada to the Wild Wild West of the U.S. here in Las Vegas.
One extreme to another.
Why Vegas?
Yeah, I was gonna say why Vegas.
Vegas, it's kind of I'll tell you. So my mother was heavy in real estate in Canada, and unfortunately my father passed away when I was very young. So, being established in Canada and having all that stuff going on while out there, her health started to slide after my father passed away. So my brother lived here in Vegas, and she was over there, I was over there. But every time she'd come here, it's like a new woman. She'd be running, walking. The weather is, I'm a firm believer in weather can change the way, you live, literally. So she moved out here back and forth, and I noticed that, she was doing better out here. It's like, if she's here, I'm here. Family's everything to us, so, you can't put a price on families. So I wound it all up and came out here and started all over again.
I love that, man.
And everyone that walks in your place and everyone that works for you is like family. It's all family.
That's how we treat them,
It really is.
It makes sense, hearing that and why the culture is what it is for you.
Yeah.
Talk about culture. How's culture at work for you and what you've been able to create?
We've created a very cool culture, actually. It's a lot of fun. If people say you want to wake up and go to work happy, all our employees are like that. We don't look at them as employees. We look at them as team members. We're all one big team, and we all have the same goal in mind, because if we can all contribute and wear each hat in different things, like our declarer might help us do other stuff, closing paperwork, running things around, anything. Everybody wears different hats. So by doing that, we've created a team, and we can grow together. That's the culture we have is, teamwork makes the dream work.
That's real.
You see it too, and I walk in, and I get to go down there a few times, and it's funny. My son's first car was purchased through Nick, right? So when you go in there, he took great care of us. But my son has a new car, and we talked about this last night on the phone, like how many repeat people come back and why people love Nick, and personally, he takes great care of you. There's no pressure. Like when we walked in, and I say, hey, I gotta get a Christmas gift for my son. I want to get him, a car. Nick, what do you have? And man, great deal, great service, made it so easy. But I tell you, like, there was no pressure. Like, take great care of you. Like, everyone down there. Like, when you walk through there, like, everyone says hi. The culture's great. People want to be there. It's just an amazing place to be. But my question is, why, you're pretty much on the strip, street over.
Yeah.
Why on the strip? Like, why luxury cars?
The location was one thing. We started in a small little warehouse, about 4,500 square feet, and started growing from there. It was just the way the lay of the land worked. We had no idea the Raiders Stadium was going to be down the street. Those buildings were actually condemned. They had no intentions of even using them. So I had to beg the landlord to even let us in there and knock on the door. And we finally bought and got licensing and all that stuff. It was a process. So it's just the way it worked out. I wanted to be close to the strip because people, who doesn't want to come to Vegas? When you're buying a car, the stuff we have is not, like I said, it's not needs, these are wants. So, a buddy and another buddy will come down and say, hey, let's go to Vegas. I'm going to buy this Porsche. Let's go hang out in Vegas for the weekend. It's, the boys trip or, girls trip, whatever, they come out. And it's nice. The airport's right there. Strip's right there. It makes it easy. You're not traveling 20 miles to get somewhere, some suburban area. No.
It's not just a dealership. This is the dealership.
That's it, man. I love that. And you nailed it too. We always talk about growth of the city. I mean, you establish your business where it is, and literally everything came to you.
Yeah.
Raider Stadium is your neighbor.
Yeah, literally.
Well, it's funny because a couple of months ago, he opened up the third building.
Yeah.
right? So I mean, literally in the same area. It's Las Vegas Boulevard and
Dean Martin and Trop.
Dean Martin and Trop, but the Polaris. On top of Polaris where the car wash is, but he took over that spot, right? And that's a really big space too. So you've taken on a lot of real estate in the last 18 months.
We have about 35,000 square feet total. One of them's a full service department. We can service anything Ferrari, Bentley, Lamborghini, McLaren, Porsche, and plus as well as custom upgrades as far as performance tunes, exhausts, anything.
Sounds like no Mercedes then.
New Mercedes too.
He's got I love the truck you have, the Mercedes
G-Wagon.
The G-Wagon.
Oh, you have a G-Wagon?
Yeah.
He's got everything. Man. You go down there. Listen, all right, your most expensive car on the lot today?
Porsche 918.
That thing is sick.
1.6 million.
I was down there yesterday.
Should we go test drive it or?
No, but that's the type of stuff. He has every the range of stuff that Nick has on his lot is crazy, And it's what I love. If you're not following Nick on Instagram, follow him. He has every day it's something new. Like
what's your
Instagram,
stuff. Nick? Where can they follow you?
My personal is nick.dossa, and the dealership is Vegas Auto Gallery.
Man, where did the passion come? For the auto gallery. Where did that really set in for you that you wanted to work in luxury vehicles?
I circle back to my mom and dad. My mom was heavy in real estate, and I never really had a passion for it. I mean, as buying and flipping homes, sure, but I never really had a passion for it. So I used to work for her, but I always wanted to have my hands in car business. I was going to school for chiropractic, and I was buying and selling cars in class, and I was making more money than my professor. I was like, I told my mom, I said, Mom, how can I sit here and listen to this guy teach me when I'm buying and selling cars, making more money? Please let me have a dealership. She's like, no, you got to finish your degree. And so that's where the passion came from. But even a little bit further back is my father used to actually be an East African safari rally driver. So I never saw it, but it was in my blood.
Yeah,
that's incredible. A rally driver, man. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So you start, you got Vegas, you got the auto gallery. What's next?
I mean, we're just growing. We're just getting started. Like literally what we've done in the last 2 years alone is just partial framework for where we want to go. There's some big sites, definitely possibly a franchise in the future, but we're already the largest in Nevada, as small as we are, and we're still growing. So people were scared of Vegas, and that's what I don't understand. Back in 2008, everybody got wiped out here, so a lot of the guys that were here are gone. And when we came in, there was an open hole in the market. It was a monopoly in a sense.
Yeah.
So that's like I said, just getting started.
Just took advantage of that opportunity, man. I love it. That's a great, I guess just opportunity that you really, were able to grab up. That's cool.
It was. It hasn't been easy. Don't get me wrong.
Oh man, never is, huh?
The big boys in town here always try to make it tougher for you, but you got to just work through it.
No, but you're the guy who's you're the guy who's everywhere. You're downtown Summerlin just about a month ago.
Yeah.
You probably had about 25, 30 cars out there. You're not afraid to take risks. I mean, essentially you did. Cars are a risky business, But so most of your clients that you're dealing with now, is it mostly people from Las Vegas buying these cars, or are you selling cars all over the country?
We sell cars all over the country. I mean, the Amazon motto is kind of the way to look at it. Everything is online nowadays. These mom and pop shops are kind of dissipating away. We cater to online, but we have a lot of locals in Vegas and then still a lot of out of state, because you can purchase everything online. Our website's so interactive that you can basically FaceTime right there on our site and look at a car and full details.
Super easy. So he has
That's cool.
He has this photo room, right, where you put the car on and it spins around, and I mean that's pretty cool.
It's cool. Cars go in there and they make a car look 100 times better.
It's awesome. Just to see the car like on there while they're doing the photo shoot is pretty awesome.
I'm gonna have to go on this website and start making my vision board. Sounds like
it's right down the street. You got to tour the facility.
I want to go. I'm gonna have to come down and visit, man. That's cool.
Hey, every time you walk in there, your problem is you want to leave with something new.
Yeah.
You had an Inventor down there yesterday that I love. I'm like, I got to leave there quick. I start getting the itch.
I'll bring in Derek with me then.
Yeah, you should.
I gotta get the itch. No, but I mean, think about the Vegas, the stigma, because medium income is low.
Yep.
We don't have a huge population. Southern Nevada is like under 1.5 million people, 2.5 million people. So we're not that big as some of the major metropolitan areas. Yet you've taken a 4,500 square foot, business, and now you're 35,000 square feet. I mean, and you did that within 18 months. Mm-hmm. So that's growth, and to have that growth mindset, like what's it like? Like what's the risk factor for you?
Well, it's a huge risk factor. I mean, Derek, we carry a lot on our backs as entrepreneurs. And like you said earlier, no risk, no reward. You have to take the risk. We took the risk. I'm still taking the risk. Continue going to take the risk, And Vegas has been good to us. Our locals here are so good. They're loyal. They want to help each other. The Vegas, I think that whole, tragedy that happened in October really brought this place to become a real city. And I say that it's a sad thing that happened, but at the same time, I think it was a better thing for Vegas because it really brought you unity. Yeah, there was no unity here prior.
We see partnership all around, and the city's much smaller than people, I think, from the outside looking in believe. We just kind of mentioned it. Like, I feel like everybody's that one person away from each other.
Yep.
I can't tell you how many times I sit down in Las Vegas with someone in the corner of their own industry, and I'm like, oh yeah, I was just, I had Nick in this week, and sure enough, they're gonna be like, I know Nick. I feel like it happens all the time.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing because my experience here is that we have this vision of growth for Vegas, mm-hmm. and companies and citizens here are working together to really push our efforts and get out. It's incredible.
Yeah, so, now let's talk about the Golden Knights now, because you're from Canada, huge hockey,
huge,
and I see you at every Golden Knight game. What's it like? Like, is this your new adopted team?
Well, yeah, I mean, Calgary Flames were definitely my team growing up. I played very competitive hockey, so I've always been a hockey junkie. Wow. But now, watching a team grow from the ground up like this, it was a life experience because there's no other city you could go to and you could build the stadium brand new and pick your seats where you want to sit. I mean, think about that. Where can you go anywhere and pick your seats where you exactly want to sit as a season ticket holder? It doesn't happen, especially for a brand new team. People thought the Knights were going to fail here. I saw that vision and I was like, no way, impossible.
Man, I'm a big hockey fan. I'll tell you, I did not have the same experience as you though. When the Golden Knights were coming to town here, I was excited, but only because I couldn't wait till the Nashville Predators showed up in Las Vegas to play. I'm a huge Preds fan.
And how did they do?
They did all right. This year we won 5-2.
What about first year?
We don't have to talk about it. Anyway, but honestly, I was a big James Neal guy. He moves from the Preds to the Knights, and that was cool. That helped me to really latch on to the Knights, and then he went to Calgary. Yep. So, that's really cool, man. I love that you love hockey, and hopefully the Knights get it together because I really enjoy going to the games. It's a high-energy place for hockey. It's incredible. Yeah.
They're all good people, too. I mean, a lot of them are customers, and you get to see them outside of the arena, and they're just cool guys, Well,
it's funny. I didn't know this about both of you. I knew you were a big hockey fan. I didn't know you played hockey when you were a kid. I know we see each other at the games and so forth, but I didn't know you follow it like that.
Oh, yeah, man. I love hockey. The Preds are, right now, probably not the hottest team, but we had some good success over the last couple of years, and we got to play the Knights in the playoffs.
Listen, I was named after Derek Sanderson, so I'm going to age myself, but that's who my daddy named me after, right? Boston Bruin, but I'm a huge Knights fan. I love the Knights. I don't know. If you're living here, you have to adopt them. So,
man, I know. I'm going through that transition issue right now. I'm worried about the Raiders, too.
We'll take a few games and
right.
All right, I'm open. Nashville Preds, please don't kill me. I'm open there.
The funny thing is, so we see him at all the games and just the way the town's grown. He's right near the Raider facility. So I'm sure, the type of cars he sells, the high profile clients they deal with. But it's funny, 2 months ago, you sold a jet.
Yeah.
So he's not only just cars, guys, jets. Like tell us about that. Like, what was that experience like? You get to
it's one of our high profile clients. And we sold him a few cars and we just kind of were chatting and, he's always traveling. I said, it's time to get a jet, and he said, can you get me one? I said, of course. And so I started doing some research and we found a plane and we closed the deal within, most jet deals take about 30 to 40 days. We closed this deal in 2 weeks.
Wow.
A to Z, full turnaround. And he was already in the air. We signed the paperwork and he took the jet straight to Switzerland the next day.
What was on that jet?
I mean, if stories can be told, like, did you hear how confident Nick was? Like, hey man, can you get me a jet? Yeah. That's it. That's
his
what it
style.
takes.
That's his style. He's very confident in what he does. I mean, to sell high-end luxury, to risk every single day. And, I mean, his inventory is sick. He doesn't have a couple cars. I mean, he has tons of Lambos, tons of Porsches. Like, his most expensive car is $1.6 million. That's on that lot. But he has a lot of stuff on them. I mean, everywhere you turn, there's something exciting to look at. Super exciting to look at. And he has an older Ferrari there, too, that's been there. I love
328 GTS.
Yeah, I mean, my eyes are on everything over there. I mean, I scope everything out. So I mean, the stuff's amazing. Tons of Bentleys and Rolls Royces. Just that's kind of one of the signatures on that. For me, that stands out a lot there. But there's just lots of amazing stuff. I mean, in this town, the stigma, that those cars don't move, but I think you've proven everyone wrong. They move, and you sell them at a high rate.
We do volume.
Yeah.
A lot of people want to make a quick buck and a big buck for that point when they lay out that much cash to own a car. For us, I'd rather make a little bit of money and earn that customer and keep earning that customer. I'll keep you with me for a long time. I'll get you in it right, and I'll get you out of it right. So that way you're not, taking a haircut when you go to trade it in.
Yeah,
that's the
key. A real example right here. I mean, how long have you known Derek? Tell him a little bit about how you guys know each other.
Over a couple of years.
Yeah, a couple of years now for sure.
So we met at an event for High Rise Magazine, and we hit it off, and friends, and we've known each other for a long time. And I had the opportunity to finally do something with Nick, and he helped me out of a situation, and he took great care of me. And then the opportunity came from my son, and the only person. So I'm that guy. So there was a guy named Alvin Nix in town when I moved here back in 2000. I only dealt with Alvin. And then Alvin went away, and the service went away. And then I met Nick, and I found the guy who's going to service me, all my car needs, but will service my family, like my son. Like, you think this is his first car? No, because he knows who dad uses, he uses, right? So his relationship with Nick is only going to grow over the next, 25, 35 years that he's buying cars. He gets to buy them from Nick. So that's just the type of service he gets. I mean, when someone takes such great care of you in that industry, one, it's more than service. It's how they take care of you on price, how they take care of you as a person. There's no pressure. You want this one, great, we'll get it done, right? And it's funny, he threw a price at me, and I'm like, normally when you go buy a car, you want to haggle, right? It's kind of the fun.
He questioned me. He's like, "Did you make a mistake?" I'm like, "No."
Yeah, I did, right? Because it's the opposite, right? Because normally when you go buy something, you want to haggle people. That's the number one thing you would do. As a salesman, you want to haggle, right? I couldn't even haggle. It was to grasp. Okay,
you're just like, I'm okay.
And the funny thing is I went away for like a week. I went to Brazil, and the car was at my son's house, and we never even finished it. I mean, it went. Nick delivered it, bow on it. Christmas Day came, opened the garage door. The car's there. My son's going, absolutely going crazy. He has this brand new car, and all because of Nick. And again, like I said, like we didn't have the deal done yet. Like we still had stuff that had to finish. But he made my son's Christmas. That's incredible. The type of man this guy is.
Thank you. That's very kind. Go out of our way. It's like I said, we treat everyone like family, and listen, it's not always pretty. You get hurt sometimes by having that mentality, but 9 times out of 10, it's always good. People
good things come around, man.
You do good will come.
We talk about it with a lot of folks that we've connected with, and it's common. People want to do business, regardless of the industry, with people they know, like, and trust.
Yeah.
And it's obvious with you that's the case as well.
Well, there's a stigma. People are scared, like used car sales guys or used car people. People cringe when they go to a dealership. I mean, I used to cringe before I was in the car business. You want to deal with a used car guy, but that's not the case for us. You come in there, like he said, it's boutique-ish, feel comfortable, walk around, just come take pictures, hang out, whatever, we'll chat. That's it. There's no pressure. You want something great, we'll help you facilitate it. That's about it. It's so easy.
I say that because every single car is inside, not outside.
It's too hot in Vegas. I can't do it. These other dealers have their stuff outside. I mean, we could do that, but it's just too hot. It's not comfortable. You want to come in a suit and walk around when it's 100 degrees and you're trying to buy something or look at something. You sit in the car, it's all hot,
Sticky. Yeah,
gross.
man.
It's just a bad experience right from the beginning.
Everything's in there.
Everything's
nice.
in air conditioned. It's nice.
I love that, Elan. You know, that what you shared, that, you know, what you have there is a want. You know, and I think that in itself creates the environment that people can go and enjoy their experience with you and find exactly what they want. You know?
Kids, I mean, parents come in with their kids just as, like you said, dream boards, you know, they come in, take pictures. I want this, I want that. Can we sit in it? Yeah, for sure. Go ahead. You know, we were kids once too. Do you remember it was what it was like? Oh, what, like Ferrari, Lamborghini. Like for us now, it's like, okay, we look at it like it's not, because we're older, we're more passive to it. But these kids, you got to give them something to focus on, to dream about. That's where we're going wrong. iPads, iPhones, kids are so introverted these days, they forget what it's like to actually, you know, see that stuff. So it's important for me. I want to give back to the community in a lot of ways. They come in, we go out of our way to try and create those visions, because then it gives them something to work towards.
You know, I don't know.
I think that's awesome.
I don't know about you guys. When we were young, my brother and I, we'd be in the back of my mom and father's car when they're driving, like, that's my car. I want that car. Like, nowadays, like, kids are too busy looking at their iPads and they're like, or they're not driving. But I mean, I don't know if they do that anymore, but I know I did that when I was a kid.
I was trying to think back when Nick just shared that, like, what was my car that I picked? And it was a McLaren. That's the one I was like, when I was younger, I was like, oh, that's the one I need. I don't know why I compared it to like a rocket ship or something, but
well, they look pretty.
that's what was my experience as a kid.
Mine was the 89 25th anniversary Countach, Lamborghini Countach. Remember that one we had on the board with everybody had a poster of that car.
Oh, yeah. That car was sexy. There's some sexy cars out there. I mean, cars are sexy to me. I don't know. I'm a car guy. I've been a car guy for many of years, and I've always had two dream cars that were on my list, and you know, I had gotten both of them at one point, right? But now, you know, things change. But
you've had hundreds of cars.
Yeah,
literally. Don't let him fool you. He's had hundreds of cars.
I was thinking while we were driving last night. I was thinking about we had some fun things over the years.
I'm just gonna apologize, Jane. I'm sorry. I'm probably gonna go get a car.
Yeah, I had some. We had some. You know, I think you know, you know, you have your everyday driver, but you know, there's always something sexy inside the garage. Yeah. You know, that's how I look at it. You know, I like opening my garage at night and seeing what's, you know, if it's still in there, right? It's still in there.
Just check on it.
Yeah.
Just in passing.
Make sure
they're art. You know, they're a sense of art. It's a new age art.
Jim Navarro, big car guy. I don't know if you know Jim. Guy's had hundreds of cars and everything. He said, he goes, a Ferrari is the orchid to the soul. Maybe I chopped up his word a little bit, but he said, like, when you get in it, you start it up and just the engine and the way cars sound, like, you know, the smell of the fuel inside the when you're in the start it up, and just the noises. Like, yeah, it's very, I don't know, for men or for me, you know, I love that. Like, I love going into the dealership, you know, and it's like I said, it's very difficult going into Nick's, you know, dealership and not wanting to drive off with something new every day. It's funny. Don't get me wrong. He wants me to take something different, right? Get me in the right price, get me out, give me something new every 6 months to a year. But he definitely has an amazing establishment. I mean, amazing.
Even the high-end stuff we have stuff like, you know, 40, 50, 60,000 dollar cars. It's nowadays you're spending 50 grand on a brand new Camry. So if you're going to spend 50 grand on a brand new Camry, come see me. I'll put you in a nice BMW or a Benz, and maybe it might be a year old. It might have 2,000 or 5,000 miles, and you're getting a car that someone paid 80 for. So what's a better value? A brand new Camry that you're going to take a haircut on, or, you know, something that's a year old and save some money?
Yeah,
I love that you nailed that too. A year before that, $80K. Yep. The next year, you can get something incredible luxury for, you know, less, and that's what happens when they go and buy a brand new car.
People are smart with their money now. That's why we do well, because they don't necessarily want to buy brand new anymore. People have learned that, you know, you're getting smacked when you buy brand new.
Plus, the new cars are so marked up. They're marked up, you know, sometimes, you know, 13, 15
average one's about 13% markup.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's lots of room in them. So that's why they say when you drive them off the lot, the depreciation starts. Like, dropped $10,000, $15,000. So it's crazy. But, you know, Nick, we really appreciate you. You know, there's something that, you know, we have a really good friendship, and I appreciate you. And, you know, I look forward to my son going down there, you know, and doing something on his own. you know, because this year it was a gift. The next time it's him.
Yeah.
Right. This was his. You know, I told his mom when he was young, there's three things I'll take care of. You know, you're not going to worry about cars or college. I'll take care of them, right? And now we're doing one of them now, and college right around the corner, and you know, and I contribute that stuff, to Nick and what he's done for Alec. You know, if Alec, when he listens to this is the man you get to thank. And when you finally go down there and ask Nick for a job, maybe he'll let you start with the cars. And because funny story about me was I've had a passion for cars since I started in an auto body shop. I was 14 years old. So I had a car, and I was working off some repairs for a guy named Chuck Palumbo. Chuck Palumbo, funny story about him. He actually was a WWF wrestler like back in the 90s, right? And that's how I fell in love with cars, like my first car. And so I had a lot of cars, but because I was always around cars, I loved them. And I stayed in auto body until I was around like 26. And then I got sick, and I got into this, industry here, and I've been doing this for 20 years now. But I tell you, like, I've always been fascinated, like, with cars. There's just, there's something about jumping in, the luxury stuff, or even just jumping in and driving. It's
a sense of accomplishment.
Yeah.
You guys are firing me up.
You ready to come or what?
I'm telling you, man. Vision board. This is real.
Well, something you could talk about. I mean, this. Look right up here. This is
there you go, yeah.
Racing stuff like that. Yep. But what was your first car?
My first car. I've had a lot of cars.
You have more than a lot of cars now. You have a dealership full. Every time I see it's something new.
My first car when I was 16 years old was a Dodge Stealth twin turbo.
All right.
Yeah.
Stealth.
1994.
Do you own like a car now? I know like you own all the cars, but do you have one that you actually own that's like?
Yeah, I have a 65 Mustang, full resto mod, built by Fessler. It was.
How come we don't see that one on a lot?
Just parked.
That one's not down there. I guess that one's not for sale.
Not for sale.
So is that you have one?
Well, I have a 69 Camaro I just got rid of. And then we have the 328 GTS, which is mine as well.
Yeah. So those are yours, and everything else is yours for the day until you sell it.
Yeah. I'll drive. People say, oh, you want to drive cars? You want to drive this? Why? You get to drive everything now. I'll drive whatever has gas in it. I'm happy with that.
You got to be careful. When you go down there, he will throw you the keys to a car, and you will drive off the lot with it.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not going yet.
We'll do the paperwork later. Just take it. Don't worry about it.
That's exactly what happened with the Mercedes. But
what was your first car?
77 Cutlass Supreme.
All right.
It was my uncle who no longer had a driver's license, so it was sitting at my grandmother's house, and it was like $500. But give a 16-year-old, a 77 Cutlass Supreme with a 350 rocket in there, you're gonna damage it. Like, I'm surprised that I mean I think the car was fast. It
was $500 then. What's it worth today?
I don't know. I mean, exactly. You don't really see $500 cars anymore.
No, but I mean, Cutlass Supreme back then to now.
Well, that
condition.
When I was 12, we're going back, almost 30 years ago, right? My first car. And, 30 years ago, my first car. So it was my uncle, so it was 1977 Cutlass Supreme. Dude, I was all over the place. I was everywhere. It was funny, but when I was 12, when I was on a pedal bike, I was everywhere too, right? And my pedal bikes were hot too. I always had good pedal bikes. But anyway, it's a story for another day.
Yeah, man. I mean, I feel like we could talk about this for days. I'm not even going to mention my first car. It was a beautiful one.
No, but if anyone,
92 Subaru Legacy. Let's go.
You're a Subaru guy.
No, I'm not
you're one
a
of those?
Subaru guy.
You're one of those?
No. It was my favorite
So what's
box
going on,
car.
Derek?
Yeah. No, but you have to, if you're looking to buy a car, if you can do anything with a car, go see Nick. I mean, if he doesn't have it on the lot, he can get it, right?
Yeah,
and I guarantee there's not a dealership in this town that he won't beat, because he's not the average dealer. He is the dealer to deal with. He's the guy. This is who you want to talk to. This is the man who will take care of any car purchase that you're ever going to need. Right here, Nick.
Nick, where can they reach you at, and what's the website?
It's VegasAutoGallery.com. We're based right off Dean Martin and Tropicana. The In-N-Out Burger's like our backyard, literally. You can see it, and the onions get cooked at 11 o'clock every morning.
Smells good with that fuel from the cars.
Yeah. No, we're right across the street. It's we have 2 facilities there, and then our other one is off Polaris, which is a full service department.
That's awesome. Well, listeners, if you're considering it, or even if you're not, you just want to be inspired the way that I feel inspired just sitting here today, go reach out, go see it. Yeah, go to Vegas Auto Gallery, see what these guys are up to. It sounds like it's going to be an incredible experience when you walk in.
What's the address?
3055 Palm Center Drive.
There you go. Well, maybe you'll see us there checking out some rods as well. And I'll say, Nick, thanks for joining us, man.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it,
I appreciate you coming in and sharing your story. And, man, even I was able to just learn some new things today. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, guys. So that's it. Living Large, Las Vegas, coming at you, of course, live. Come back. Check us out. We're definitely going to do a little to be continued. Have to get Nick back in here as things continue to grow for you. That's really cool. And best of luck.
Thank you.